All right.
That's a lovely cup you've got there. Lovely glass.
Delicious.
And what are you drinking today?
We are back to the IPA edition.
IPA. I enjoy the IPA edition.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
I got the stout one. I just don't want to open it until this one's done.
Yeah, I get it. So hey everybody. Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast.
Yeah. Hi.
Where he is Jimmy from
I am
Crazy
Jimmy.
Stranger. I am Mike.
Actually, before we get into the intro, I don't think we need to keep saying what bands we're in.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
We're Jimmy and Mike from Bacon is My Podcast and Bacon is My Passion.
Okay. Cool.
Done. You know, we can do it at the end when we do our wrap up with our social medias and contacts and stuff. That's where we can be like, you can find my band, blah, blah, blah. You can find my stuff here.
Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. I was just kind of used to just saying the whole spiel. So I'll cut it out.
I'm just shortening the spiel just a little.
That's cool. I like it. So,
Bacon is my podcast. Bacon is my podcast. Bacon is my.
He is Jimmy G. I am Mike Wayman, and we are Bacon is My Passion, and you're listening or consuming.
Yes, I like that.
Because we don't know if you're listening or you're watching.
You could be.
We got watchers. So you're all consuming it, and everybody loves consuming bacon, but you're consuming Bacon is My Podcast, and welcome.
Delicious.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
So how's things, Jim?
Things are good. There? Things are good over here. How's things over there? What's new? What's exciting?
The heater is pretty loud. It's a little chilly.
I can't hear your heater at all. Can you hear my heater at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
I could barely say that sentence. Did you see? Did you notice that? I was like, I can hear your heater. I don't know what happened there.
Or your brain?
I think it was the brain because my mouth feels fine. The brain cramps up and I can't tell sometimes.
Yeah, that does happen. That absolutely does happen. I've been having a lot of brain farts lately.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the drinking or just getting old. Or children. Children are good at turning like speeding up dementia, right? That's kind of one of their things.
I don't know if that's it or if they just they're just very active balls that you're juggling during your day. And it's easy to slip past some other ones. So I don't think it's dementia. I don't think it's the drinking or the age because, we're roughly the same age, and I'm a little older, and we both drink. Yeah, and I have very few brain farts.
Okay, or maybe it's the new dog
and 0 children.
The puppy is just he's another level, man.
Dude, when we first got Master Wayne, Mr. Bruce Wayne, Bruce Wayne Frenchton on Instagram, if you're nasty. Yeah. When we first got him, I had a lot of brain farts because everything was like, where's Bruce? Dude. He's so small. Is he in or under something that I need to get him out of?
Yeah, that's the thing. With, well, so the new pup's name is Bruno, and he and Bane is my 60-pound boxer, and they get along really, really well. It's pretty awesome. I didn't expect it to go this well.
That's fortunate.
It's really great. But now Bruno just he just runs from out of nowhere and bites the back of his legs. He's just I'm coming, leg chomp.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And Bane just loses his shit because this little jerk is biting the back of his legs. But we got Bruno, and he was supposedly 7 pounds, but now playing tug of war with a 65-pound chooch. I'm pretty sure he's gained 10 pounds of muscle weight in the past month.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
he's going to grow fast. He's
Oh,
one
yeah,
of those, he's one of those fast growing dogs.
Yeah, he's a handful though, man. Like
He's got some
he
good
just
sized
cannot be
paws
left
on him
alone.
too.
He cannot be left alone. It's
No.
it really stifles the life in general. Like everything. I can't
Yeah.
cook. I can't clean. I can't shit. I can't do anything.
Well, the beauty is that dogs grow so fast that that'll last another couple of months, and then he'll be fine.
Yeah, then he'll just come into the bathroom and sit on the other side of the bathroom while I take a dump.
Yeah, stare at you.
Yeah, I don't mind if he stares at me. Just let me go.
Right. See, Bruce doesn't do that. Bruce is like, you know, if he comes in from his bathroom moment and I go in to do mine, he's like, "Peace, bro. I'm downstairs. I'm out."
Yeah, see,
And
that's
he'll go bug Annie, or he'll go downstairs and jump on the couch
Mhm.
and just sit there and just kind of wait. And he's like, "You coming? What's up? You done?"
Yeah, let's get the show on the road here. I just need
Yeah.
I need something warm to snuggle up against. Like, let's
Right. Right.
Yeah. I will say though, as big of a pain in the ass as he is, I'm just a sucker. I'm a sucker at the end of the day for him to just be like, all right, I'm just gonna laying up against you.
Yeah.
And what a little jerk.
I have a chair that I'll sit in when I want to like play PlayStation or something like that. And it's this it's like a hanging canvas chair that like folds out and you sit in it, and it's
Oh yeah, those are great.
yeah. It's a very comfortable video game chair. Every time I sit in it, Bruce will come around and he'll start like pawing at my knee, and I'm like, "What?" And he wants me to pick him up, and I got to pick him up and put him on me, and then kind of like uncomfortably play games over the top of him. And he's just like, "I'm here. This is what's up."
This is your job now.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like you can't not. What kind of heartless bastard would I be if I was like, "No, cute dog, you cannot sit on me. I'm playing video games. I need to make sure that the zombies in Last of Us 2 don't kill me." That's
They're
more
priorities.
That's more important to me than your happiness and love and returning it.
So real quick, we're talking about video games here. While we're on the subject, we both have Raspberry Pis now.
Oh yeah. Super exciting.
It's so awesome.
For those of you that don't know what a Raspberry Pi is, it started off like in the computer, like PC gaming world. And it was just, they were wanting to play nostalgic old games. And you could fit, I don't know, I'm going to give you a completely terrible, underwhelming layman's version of what it is. Mm-hmm. So, that's the way it is. If you hate
prepare to be underwhelmed.
Yeah, if you hate my description, please leave your distaste in the comments, and we'll read it and never think about it ever again, and then we'll both be good. So it's they clone the games, and you're able to fit so many of them on like an SD card, like thousands and thousands of these games, arcade games, old like original Nintendo games, like everything from like ColecoVision to like Sega Genesis, PlayStation 1, like overseas game systems from Japan. Yeah. A lot of like so many games. So people started making them as like little tiny consoles, just a HDMI, so you could play it right on your television. And Mike and I both got them. How's yours? What's yours look like? Is yours shaped like a game system or anything?
No. It's bare bones. It's a little plastic box, and it's got 4 USB ports. It's got a headphone jack and an HDMI cable.
Nice. That's mine too. Mine's a little metal box, and it's same thing,
Yeah.
like 4 inputs. I saw the ones that were like made in the old, like you could get a Super Nintendo chassis and stuff like that. And I was like,
I saw that.
I don't need that. What kind of controllers did you get with yours?
So I have it's one that's it's a Super Nintendo. The one that came with it is a Super Nintendo controller, but it's colored like a Nintendo controller.
Mm-hmm.
But then it has the L1 R1, but it also on the inside of that it has the L2 R2.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
So it's got everything except for the joysticks.
Exactly. And it has the regular directional pad and then the two left and right directionals too.
Nice.
So yeah, I had that one. And then I went on the interwebs because it's pretty awesome. And I got an N64 one,
nice,
and a standard standard Super Nintendo one. And I found out that they actually work with the PS4 controllers, the DualShock.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to get an N64 controller. Mine came with the PlayStation, probably the PlayStation, very similar to my PlayStation 3 controllers or the early PlayStation ones with the joysticks and everything.
Yeah.
Same way. I want to get an N64 one, and I believe that without speaking to each other about it, on the count of 3, we can say the exact game, and the only reason that we want to have that controller, 3, 2, 1, GoldenEye.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, because I tried to play it with the other controllers, and it's weird. It just doesn't work.
It does not work.
Yeah, the N64 games kind of are a little jank because they need that weird ass Nintendo controller that they made.
Yeah. I also enjoyed playing No Mercy, which was awesome.
Nice.
An N64 classic.
Yeah.
But the kids, so for the first week or so that I had it, I didn't get to play it at all. The kids loved it. So Gavin is 7, Lacey is 4. All they want to do is play Ninja Turtles in Time.
Oh, I played that with my brother over the holidays when I was home. I actually got it to bring home to when I visited my family over the holidays because we were all kind of like, can't go anywhere, so we're in the house. Yeah. And so we brought a bunch of like board games and stuff. I have Avengers Monopoly and a bunch of like, we had this like fishing game that's like for probably 8-year-olds where you have a fishing rod and you pull fish out of a
yeah. I think we have that for Gavin.
Jump up at you.
Yep.
We love that. That's fantastic drunk.
Yeah.
And then me and myself and my brother Joey played Turtles in Time for a while.
I feel like we played that at some point.
I'm sure we have. Sure we have because we're both big fans of the Ninja Turtles. We're both big fans of that game.
So I don't know if we've talked about this particular story. I think this is a pretty entertaining story. I think this is fit for the podcast. So back in the day, I used to live in an apartment with Jen, and when we first got married, and every month we would get together for WWE pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And I would always host. And, we'd have like 10, 12, 15 people over. Everybody would kick in for the pay-per-view. We'd make a bunch of food. We'd have a bunch of drinks. And we just have a really good time watching it. And a lot of times I would take off. And those nights that I took off, Jimmy would hang behind. And the pay-per-views ended, 10:30?
Yeah, 10:30. Yep.
So Jim would just hang behind. And we'd just continue to hang out and a lot of times that ended up parlaying into video games. And there was this one time. So I do digress. But this one time I had the PS3, and the PS3, they had started reissuing old arcade games, and they reissued Turtles in Time, which I don't know if we played or not. We probably did and don't remember it.
Yeah,
because that's kind of what happened when we did that stuff.
We should do a Turtles in Time marathon and live stream the whole experience, like for our Patreon. We can be
Oh,
like,
man.
you guys can just watch us play Turtles in Time, and we'll do it drunk, and we'll yell and scream at things, and it'll be fantastic. I don't know if anybody will watch it, but why not?
Yeah, I'm in. I'm so in. So that was one of the games. That was like the first. But the major one, the major one was X-Men, the
My man Colossus.
scrolling arcade game.
So good.
And I immediately ordered it. We downloaded it. We got it. It was immediate. Like, I needed it. And at that point, Jen was going to work the next day, and she's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to bed, whatever."
I feel bad now.
Yeah, well, we feel bad now.
And
it was hilarious. It was hilarious. So Jim and I, we were geeking out, super excited because we were going to play the side-scrolling X-Men arcade game.
Yes, from our youth.
Yeah, and Jimsy here, he picked good old Colossus, and then I don't know who I picked, probably Wolverine. Yeah, so we started playing, and we all know that you have the special.
Yeah.
And the special is that awesome move that clears the screen. If you've got 100 enemies right there, and you're in real trouble, and you're like, I need to just clear the screen and get my wits about me, hit that special. Guess what? You're good to go.
Yeah.
But Colossus, now I read comics. You read comics.
Yes.
Right? I don't remember him having this like power blast.
He did not have the power blast, nor did he have a power.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Okay. So, Colossus, Jim says, I need to clear the screen, hits said special button, and Colossus goes,
Ah!
That, my friends, was the most hilarious thing to Jim and I, who had been drinking for 3+ hours.
I couldn't wait to build up that special again.
Yeah.
Man, I'd hit that thing with no one on the screen as soon as I got it.
Yeah.
As soon as I got it, just to get
Yeah. So Jim gets the special. He starts hitting them, and then I was completely enamored with it. He was completely enamored with it. And every time, even if we couldn't do it, we would just start yelling it.
Yes.
And by that point, it was like midnight on a Sunday.
It powered us through.
Yeah, it powered us through. My neighbor underneath us was banging against her ceiling, aka my floor.
Right.
And then Jen finally came out and she said, "Get out." Two words.
It is the one and only time that Jen has just asked me to leave.
Yeah.
And I've been very drunk at the house.
Oh, yeah.
I say all kinds of unruly things. And
she's been very displeased.
This was the time.
More than once. More than once after nights that we hung out together. And this was the one and only night that she kicked us out.
Yeah.
She kicked me out too. So, I mean, we can't even say that she kicked Jim out. She kicked me out too.
Right. Yeah.
So
like you go and take this idiot with you.
Right. She just literally just came out of the bedroom. She was very polite about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well,
she said,
I've never seen Jen not be polite. To be honest, like even when I've seen her mad and she's described things that anger her to me, she does it while laughing through it. I think that's her coping is just laughing and smiling through it, which I think is amazing because she'll be telling me about something that drives her nuts.
Yeah.
With just this big smile on her face and laughing through it at she's really good at like putting the ridiculousness of
Right.
situations where it belongs.
Right. Yeah. She just walked out. She had a robe on, and she just get out. And at which point, luckily, I lived up the street from a bar, and we went to a bar
Go to a bar.
and laughed about Colossus's yell
Yeah.
the rest of the night.
And I'm sure at the bar there was a couple of
Oh, for sure. I'm sure, like, crossing that parking lot, we probably yelled it more than we should have.
we definitely disturbed way more people than we would have just staying at your house. But it was okay to disturb them because they weren't the people that mattered.
Right. They weren't directly connected to my house.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't your future wife or someone living below you.
Right. Or to either side. Remember the crazy dude that lived by me?
Yep.
That was probably one of the worst neighbors ever, because he'd literally walk up the stairs like clockwork. He worked for the town. Like clockwork, he'd come up at 5:15. He'd walk up the stairs, he'd drop his keys, and then he'd curse for 10 minutes trying to pick up his keys. And then he'd go into his apartment, his creepy apartment.
It hurts, man, sometimes.
Yeah.
I used to have a neighbor when I was growing up, when I lived in Indiana, and I was just learning how to play guitar. And so I was practicing every day. And my bedroom was upstairs bedroom, and we had people across the street that were painting a house. And so I would play music, and I would try and play along with the music. And the music I was listening to at the time was like Metallica and like Nirvana and like all those bands. I'm learning how to play these songs. And the people across the street that were painting liked when I had music on because I would put it loud and everything. And this is during the summertime, like during the day.
Yeah.
And the neighbors would call the cops on us, on me for playing guitar. And I remember like they had a kid that was, I think, 3 years younger than me in high school. And he would get in trouble because he'd be like, and I found this out later because I had friends that were friends with him. And he would be like, can you guys not? I mean, it's the middle of the day. He like, why are you calling the cops? They called the cops on me probably 10 times.
What?
In a summer for playing guitar. And the cops would come and they'd be like, can you turn it down? And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. They called the cops on my 18th birthday party, which was also in the summer. And I had like a pool party, and it wasn't even late yet. Like it was probably like 6 o'clock. We'd probably been going for maybe an hour. And they called the cops on that. They called the cops on my parents having friends over. And if we were the least bit loud, they just called on like their first. And the funny thing is, they never came over and complained.
Right. They just called the cops.
Anything to us about being loud or anything like that. It was just like 911.
Yeah. See, you know what? My next door neighbor probably doesn't listen to this, but my next door neighbor at one point, a few summers ago, and he hasn't since, but they left the dog out, and their dog would just bark and bark and bark and bark. And like sometimes it was like the winter, right? And it would be over an hour.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes it would be over an hour. And there was one time that I was just like, you know what? I'm going to call the cops. Like, this is messed up now.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I get a knock on my door. Bane starts losing his shit. And I'm like, what's going on? I get to the door. It's the cops. And they're like, hey, is that your dog barking outside? I was like, no, my dog's barking at you inside, like through the window. You
I
see
was
this guy?
currently barking at you.
Yeah. And he's, oh, okay. Which way? And I was like, that way. And I was like, cool. I didn't have to call the cops.
Yeah. You never want to be that one that calls the cops.
No.
Except on the road. On the road,
Okay.
I call the cops every time someone's a dick driving. Every time. I'm that guy. If you get in front of me, if I did something driving, I don't. I'm a pretty aware driver. But if for some reason you think that I got in front of you too fast, or you want to go faster and I'm in your way because I'm going, 9 miles over the speed limit and you want to go 20 miles over the speed limit, I don't drive the speed limit ever. I just don't. Yeah. Right? So I know that I'm not that driver that's slowing you down. Right? I'm that driver that's keeping you from killing someone because you're going way too fast.
Right.
Which is fine. But if you are somehow angry with me and you decide to get in front of me and start slowing down and you start honking your horn, or you start or you pull or swerving all over the road or anything like that, man, I'm 911. I'm looking at a mile marker. I'm 911 and I'm going to be like, here is their make and model. Here's their license plate number. I'm at this mile marker. Get this dick off the road and put him somewhere.
I have
that guy.
Okay. I call, you know what I always try to call? I call on like pizza delivery guys, especially if it's Domino's.
Okay.
They have the stupid thing on the top of their car. And
right.
It's like, you're driving like an idiot. I'm gonna call your boss. You're not going out on a date. You're not going to the grocery store. Right. You're not going to the grocery store.
No one's pregnant in your back seat right now.
Right. This is not for leisure. So you're on the clock and being a jerk. So I'm going to call your boss.
Yep.
And I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I take great pleasure in that. I don't know why.
I do. And I know that makes me a dick, and I'm okay with it. Because I think everyone needs to be a little bit of a dick in their life.
It's the greater good.
Yep.
You're preventing serious car accidents. I mean, not all heroes wear capes, Jim.
Just gonna say that.
Not all heroes wear capes.
My favorite heroes do not wear capes, except one. Only one of my heroes that I like wears capes. Wears a cape.
Batman. That's it.
Batman's the only one.
Yeah,
only one.
Something that I want to show you. I don't know if I've shown you yet. Let me see if I can actually get it.
And his cape serves a purpose. He glides with it. He hides from fire with it.
Oh, dude, it's legit.
It has its own moves, right? His cape is valuable. Him and Doctor Strange, their capes serve a purpose.
Doctor Strange's cape is like, it's alive.
Yeah. So
that
serves a purpose. Superman, not so much. Although his outfit would look ridiculous without a cape.
Yeah. Well, we all know my thoughts on Superman. So at work, I was in line for a promotion. I didn't get it. I wound up like negotiating a thing with my boss saying like, hey, listen, this is what I would like out of my job and this and that. And he said, no problem. And basically I'm getting taken out of the position that I dislike. So a few weeks had passed and I asked him, I said, hey, so based on what this is, and it's going to kind of require it to be known around the office, like, hey, he's not your frontline, answer the phones, go run to the counter guy. He's doing other things. So I said to him, I was like, hey, listen, it's not a big deal to me. Like, I don't care really. But what is my title here Like, what are you going to tell people? And he's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you want to be Batman?
Yes,
He's like, I'll call you Batman. I said, yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That's a
So
win.
I have officially changed
Uh,
my signature
that's fantastic.
to that. I no longer have inside salesperson. I'm now Batman. The Batman thing came about. There's like a legit reason for that. There's 3 mics in my office, and the owner of the company said, "Hey, you got to do something about this. 3 mics in the office thing." And I basically told my boss, I said, "Well, fine, you can call me Batman." And
They call you Batman at work,
they call me Batman at work.
dude.
The owner of the company calls me Batman.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. Let's all, those of you that are listening, just stop what you're doing, unless you're driving, and let's applaud because that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
I actually and this is like a semi sarcasm thing, because I'm still waiting on the official, like, hey everybody, he's not going to do your job anymore. Email. I'm still waiting on that.
Right.
So after the Batman anointment, I did this, and then a week later, we have this intranet where you can create a profile for yourself. And for a while, I just had the pretty standard picture, and it had my extension on my phone and this and that. I decided to go on to Wikipedia, grab Batman's bio, copy it, and I pasted in my bio. And I changed every time it said Bruce Wayne, I changed it to Mike Wayman.
That's awesome.
And the picture is Michael Keaton's Batman.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I don't know if they've caught onto it yet, but it's there. It's there. So if anybody at work is listening, go ahead and check on the intranet.
Log on. Check it out.
It's there.
I support it 1,000%.
But yeah, only guy that makes sense. The only time that a neighbor has called the cops on me playing music was we played a house party across the street from my house. So this was back in high school. No, it was a little after high school. I was still living with my parents. And so we rehearsed at my house, in my garage, at my parents' house. And they never had a problem with it. But all of a sudden, we played this house party across the street before. And like you said, it was like 6:30. Big problem. Big to do. Cops came 3 times. And finally, the 3rd time, they were like, you can't do it. Like, they're complaining too much. You just flat out can't do it. Long story short, the person throwing the party looked at the party and went, everybody, get all the furniture out of the kitchen. We set up in the kitchen.
Nice.
Played a show. The downside was AJ, who was playing drums, was in front of the fridge. So between songs, he had to play bartender, open the fridge, give some beers, and then we could play our song.
You know what? That's better than playing at a bar where you're playing in front of the restrooms. So people have to walk through the band to get to the restrooms.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in a house, and I'd rather like have the drummer have to open the fridge. So I think you still won there.
No, I would say we still won. I would say
another amazing.
So where is the worst? Not necessarily like the worst venue, because there's always a really nasty venue.
Right.
Where is the worst spot within a venue that you've ever played in?
I think just what I had said, and like playing a venue where I've played a number of venues where like the bathrooms were right by the stage, so that people had to walk in and out right past the band to use the restroom. But I think the worst example of that was a recent show, a more recent show that I played just in the past couple of years in my other band, Crash Transit. And we played a show at this small bar, and we did it just kind of to do a show. And man, we were in between, like on one side, I had to set up where literally part of the bar was in front of me. Right? I had to move bar stools and put my pedal board on the floor up against the bar, and that's where I was standing. And if anyone had to get to the bathroom, they had to walk between the singer and me, and then between me and the drummer to get to the bathroom. And on the other side, our other guitar player and our bass player were playing on where they had to bring food in and out of the kitchen.
Oh.
Anyone coming out of the kitchen had to go between, like on stage with us, in between band members. So at any moment, like I could have someone, like I could turn too fast and I could hit someone walking out of the bathroom with my guitar. So that was probably the worst location in a venue that I have ever played.
Something that I got to say though, there's a lot of history in that venue. If it wasn't for that place, I wouldn't be here because my parents met there.
All right. Well,
so it's a pretty important place. That's all I'm getting at.
I do love the place. I love the place. I love the owners. I love everything. I hate playing in that spot.
Understood.
I hate it. We did it twice. I hate it.
I played a place and it was, you know, it could definitely go on the worst venues kind of list.
Right.
Because it was for multiple reasons. So the first reason was because when we pulled up, there's this bar and it's huge and it's packed and you could see it from the outside, and across the street they have their parking lot and they got people waving people in, and you're like, wow, we're gonna play here? No.
Oh no.
2 storefronts down.
Oh.
There's a little dive.
Wah, wah, wah.
So in this dive, you go in and there's like a foyer, like just a hallway to get to the main part of the bar.
Mm-hmm.
If you were playing in a 3-piece, you'd be okay. If you're playing in a 4-piece, a little tight.
Right.
But when you're playing in a 5-piece, you're playing next to the cigarette machine in the foyer. And people going in and out, and like if the guy collecting money at the door steps back, he's hitting into you. That's basically the worst location I would say that I've played, because it was literally people were walking in and they were walking over your pedals, and it was just like,
yeah,
this is, and it was one of those old cigarette machines where you could only use coins, and this was, oh shoot, it had to be like 2010, 2011,
right,
and you had to use coins, so you had to somehow scrounge out like $8 in coins. And then you got to pull the thing, the lever.
It's analog. It's an analog.
Actually, while we were playing, we're buying from said machine.
I played a place where one of the monitors was on top of the ATM, because the ATM was behind the band. Right? Or not monitors. One of the speakers was on the ATM because they was behind the band. And so anytime someone needed to use the ATM, they had to walk on stage with the band, stand behind the guitar player, and use the ATM.
That is pretty awful.
Yeah. You know what? I don't understand. Sometimes I don't understand. I'm like, I think, well, I do understand. Like, bar owners want to get somebody in there that's going to get people in there. And they're like, oh, we can, yeah, sure, we can be a venue. And they just kind of like, we'll figure it out. And then you figure it out when you're there. And they're like, oh, we still need people to be able to get to this. You can't unplug it. Okay, we still need people to be able to get through here, but this is where you are. You know, and they don't want to disrupt their normal business, but they want you to add to it. And it's like, okay.
Well, you know what? It kind of goes with this long running thing of local music is an afterthought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Music is what have they been using? Shoot, what's the phrase that they're using? Incidental.
Incidental, yeah.
Yeah. Have the band sell 50 tickets because it's incidental.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird, man. This business is just whack. It just is. It's just so bad.
You know, it's weird. You just said whack.
I was gonna say this business is so wacky, and I just stopped at whack, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty whack.
I've never heard you ever say
yeah.
Ever.
It's all right. I'm owning it.
First time for everything.
I don't know that I've ever said it before.
Well, with that said, I want to do something.
What's that?
I want to do the Poddex question of the week.
Oh, you know what that means.
So, podcast question of the week.
Powered by Poddex. We are Bacon is my podcast. We are powered by Poddex, and it is the question of the week. Is it my turn? I think you asked me last time, didn't you?
Yeah, no. You need to ask me a question.
So, it's my turn
so while you go get your cards, I'm going to go tell everybody that if you go to poddex.com, you use the promo code BACON, you get 10% off your order. Poddex is pretty awesome because it's like Cards Against Humanity, but I think it's way better. And you can get a whole bunch of different decks. I have here the interview deck. We have the episode deck, which is pretty great. Jimmy over there, he's got the What the Heck deck, which is usually what he likes to go to.
Not today.
Well, he's also not very good at shuffling, which is disappointing. It's disappointing that he can make the sounds though.
I did it against the mic. Shuffled against the mic just now.
I guess that's what's most important.
So right now we're going from the Would You Rather deck.
Oh,
right, which I think should be fun.
That sounds sexy.
I agree. So I'm going to fan them out for you.
All right. So on your right, I'm trying to see. That's your pointer. So go for your middle finger. Right middle finger. Yep. That one.
All right. We have chosen. All right, Mike. Would you rather be in shape and have a great body but an ugly face, or have a gorgeous face but be overweight?
Well, okay. I would like to think that I'm overweight slightly and have an okay face. And I did pretty well for myself. So I'm gonna say overweight and a pretty face is probably the way to go. I mean, in the end.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, man. I think personality goes a long way,
Right.
but man, people see your face. They see your face
Yeah.
first. You know,
Who cares if you got winky do?
you can always lose weight.
And you can always do selfies like this.
Mm-hmm.
If you hold the camera up, you look way skinnier.
There are lots of things you can do to look skinnier.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So that's my choice. Quick,
All right.
easy, painless, done.
So yeah, powered by, in fact, Poddex. If you go to poddex.com and you want to buy yourself a pack of these, they're not just for podcasts, they're not just for interviews or things like that. They're for kind of everything. I got these over the holidays and went through some of the questions with my family. We were just laughing and answering questions and kind of like getting to know each other even more, just because you're asking questions that you normally wouldn't come up. And I think that's fun and I think that's cool. So if you go there and you want to get one of those, put in the promo code BACON and you can get yourself 10% off of your order, no matter how big that order is. So definitely do that. It not only gets you 10% off, but it also lets them know that we are sending people to their site and people are checking them out through us, which just helps them want to keep sponsoring the show and do more stuff with us because we actually want to involve them on stuff because we've been in contact with the people over at Poddex and they're really cool people.
Very cool people. Very cool people. And even when you order stuff, like I ordered my Poddex before we had our little thing going on with them. And they reached right out and they were like, hey, so what are you using it for? And things like that. And the owner he's super personable. He wants to know about what you're doing with it and stuff like that. He cares about the product. And what's also super cool, and we haven't mentioned this enough. I know back in the beginning we did, but they actually have a phone app.
Yeah.
There's an app for that.
There is an app for that. I got on the Poddex phone app before I got my order of cards because I was talking to somebody about that we were using them as a sponsor or that they were sponsoring us, not that we were using them as one. We were lucky enough to have them as a sponsor. And I was trying to kind of let them know what it is. And I brought it up on the phone and we went through a couple questions and stuff like that. I did the first couple are free and then you got to download some stuff. So
yeah,
it's cool though. It's worth it. I like the cards. I just like the idea of having the cards. Like you can sit with someone and you can hand them half the cards and you can just go back and forth and stuff.
Well, it's a lot like a comic book. Like, listen, you can download a comic book and read it. That's great.
Right, man. I love
like holding,
even
a graphic novel, just holding it and just sifting through the.
Absolutely,
like it.
100%. If you had to pick one graphic novel to recommend to a friend, what would that graphic novel be? I'll make it even smaller because I was in this situation once. If you had to recommend a graphic novel to a friend that doesn't enjoy or doesn't know if they enjoy Marvel comics, is there a graphic novel that you would recommend to them?
Yeah, the Magneto one.
Which I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, so there's actually, there was I don't know what it was called. I might have to Google this using the Google machine. But as we do this, I'm not paying attention, you guys. I gotta look at this
Google machine right now.
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there is a fascinating machine service, answering service, if you will, called Google. I like that Google is a company, but Google has now become synonymous with how you find an answer. Even if you use a different service, you're like, I'm going to Google that. And I think that's when something becomes that well known, I think that's pretty awesome.
It's pretty solid.
All right, go on.
Okay, so it's X-Men Magneto Testament.
Okay.
So long and short of it, it's a really, really well-written graphic novel, and it's actually more of almost more of a history lesson, because they used this for a little while. They actually approved it for the Board of Education to teach the Holocaust to people.
Oh, I do know this one, actually. I didn't think of it as like a Magneto graphic novel, but yeah, I have read this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. Keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it's really great. They actually wanted to, so before X-Men First Class was a thing, they actually wanted to use this as the the footprint for a Magneto origin solo movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Wolverine X-Men origin movie happened, and less than stellar.
Yeah.
Not great results on that one. So yeah, it was great. It was really good, and it's honestly, it's not. It's less comic-y. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's history. It's a little bit of comic book. It's a great story. It's a great story.
Nice. I
What about you?
am a huge fan. When I had this question posed to me, it was by a person that likes that is a huge Batman fan, but a Frank Miller Batman fan.
Yeah.
Right. So I was between suggesting the Daredevil Man Without Fear graphic novel that was the Frank Miller's run on Daredevil, which is absolutely outstanding. But also, I'm a huge fan of Kraven's Last Hunt for Spider-Man. I love the storyline. It's such a like gritty, like if you're someone that likes more like a gritty Batman Frank Miller thing, and you don't know if you're going to enjoy Marvel's more campy stuff or more like colorful, lighthearted stuff. It's a really good like deep dive into this psyche of Kraven the Hunter, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Who was like a C villain at one point, you know. So
and now everybody wants that to become a thing.
Oh man, it's such a good storyline and such a good series. I think I read that series probably 10 times. I read it in the comics when I was collecting, and I was getting them every couple of weeks, and I was like, oh, what's happening next? And then when the graphic novel came out, I immediately bought that, and then like I read it again a year later, and I go back to it a lot because it's really excellent writing.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, give them your socials.
Oh yeah, so you can find me. I'm in a band called Craving Strange, and you can find us at cravingstrange.net. You can find us on all your socials, Craving Strange Music. And you can find me, Jimmy G, at Jimmy G's Shoes on Instagram and Jimmy G on Facebook. And you can find me there. Also, Jimmy G's Shoes on Twitter. So, yeah, that's where you can find me. How about you, bud?
I am me, my own self, Mike, on the Instagram. But also, I'm in a band called Something Heavy, and we're available everywhere as Something Heavy Music or at Something Heavy Music. And don't forget, bacon is my passion. Music. That's where you get to hear all of the stuff that Jim and I write. We're slacking on it a little, but that's because we're too busy doing this stuff.
Yeah, we've been very busy doing this, but we got to jump back in. We had the holidays, and then we both had
things
and things. Yeah. But yeah, Bacon is My Passion music is coming. And also Bacon is My Passion is going to be fingers crossed. I'm going to go ahead and say it here, but we're going to be featured in a movie, in a feature film.
That's gonna be spectacular.
Yeah, if you guys have been paying attention, then you know that we wrote a song called "Death Be a Woman" for a vampire movie called "Evergreen Is the Blood" by Polestar Productions. It's an independent film. I've worked with the company a couple of times before, both with Craving Strange, and actually they were foolish enough to put me as a lead in one of their movies.
Yeah.
And they approached us about writing a song specifically for a scene for this movie. So it was our first experience trying to do that. It was super fun to do. It was awesome. We thought it was just going to be like a throwaway thing in this movie that they were doing in between films. And then all of a sudden, more people started getting interested in the movie. More people started putting money in the movie. They're reshooting the entire movie from what they did before because they're grabbing like a full-on cast of quote unquote real actors, not just like friends and stuff, that indie film type stuff. And it looks like we are have a better than average chance of showing up in this film and maybe even being horribly mangled by vampires.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool.
Pretty amazing.
So yeah, check out Bacon is My Passion music.
Yeah.
Baconismypodcast.com. Don't forget to get onto the Patreon where we have your episodes a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And other stuff like,
extra episodes, watch alongs, play alongs.
I'm just going to repeat everything he says.
Specific, some. I don't know what we're calling our peeps, our baconators. Bacon is my peeps.
We're going to figure that out.
We're figuring it out. It's it's work in progress.
It's a work in progress. So yeah, don't forget.
But
it helps the show. It helps us do cool stuff. It helps Jim and I, and we need to keep drinking whiskey.
Drink. Really,
that's what we do.
Buying us a drink keeps this show rolling.
Right. That's really all we need.
And it really keeps the show rolling. It helps us keep the show free. So that's awesome because we always want the show to be free. Yeah. This little rinky-dink thing that we decided to do for fun is gaining some steam, and we really appreciate it. And it's super awesome of you guys that are hanging out with us. We didn't get to it today. We're going to get to it for the next one. I absolutely promise you. And Mike doesn't even know, but I actually have some viewer and listener questions, and we're going to mailbag some questions in the next episode. I promise you. So if you have any more questions or anything like that, please send them in. You can do it on the website, right on the main page. You can scroll to the bottom and just throw in a question, throw in a suggestion for a show, anything like that. It's right under Bacon is My Fashion if you want to get some merch.
Get some pretty sweet merch there.
We're going to be wearing some merch soon also on the show, so you can see some stuff. So yeah, all that stuff helps us a lot, and we do appreciate it. We will be answering your questions, and we're doing everything we can to make all of you a bigger part of the show with us. We're bringing on guests. We're doing everything we can to make it cooler and cooler. So thank you guys. You guys are absolutely badass. You have made bacon a main course.
It was always a main course.
It's always a main course. Hey.
Later, guys.